Good morning. We will start off with just a couple of updates. First of all, we talked the other day about the 3-year-old that was at the daycare that had the rope wrapped around the neck and then was taken to the hospital. We did hear that the 3-year-old died. We spoke to the family this morning, and a couple of things. They were okay with releasing the fact that the child died. Didn't really want any other information, so we're going to respect their wishes. The flip side of that is we still have our investigation, and so we're still looking at things, so there's not really much other information that we are able to release at this point.
Can you give a location of that one more time?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not finding it right off the top. I'll have to do some more checking into that. Yeah, it was, I want to say it was around like 65th and Solberg, or 64th or something. It was something around that. I can't find it right now, but I can do some digging and let you know the 100 block where it was. But the other update was going to give, just received the surveillance video this morning from Willikers and then the Roland Smoke. So the detective seemed to think that there may have been the same person that committed both burglaries, but we'll get that video out today, and hopefully we'll have a chance at identifying the suspect, but nothing new on that one either. On the log, not a whole lot. The aggravated assaults mostly are just reports. We didn't have any arrests. One of them, somebody was threatened with either a knife or machete. They made the report, and then they said they didn't want to do anything. There were no injuries from that. We had a bar fight where somebody was hit in the head with a beer bottle, and then the last one was a late report, but a guy said Tuesday he was driving, and there was a carload of people, and somebody pointed a gun at him. Didn't really give a reason for the delay in making the report, but he did have some information to follow up on, but wasn't sure why they pointed the gun at him. The burglary, that was a report created in error. The counterfeiting, I don't have much on that, but it was a fake 100 that was found. The report doesn't say what type of fake bill it was, so I don't know if it was motion picture use or if it was altered in some other way.
Is that a business or just?
That was a gas station, yeah, and no suspects on that one.
It wasn't used for like a transaction?
It was, yeah. They found it later on.
Oh, I got you.
The disorderlies, trespassing, and then a couple of other reports. The family dispute and offenses, some more reports on those. No arrests. The frauds, the only thing big out of that was we had a woman that received a phone call from somebody claiming to be an officer. They didn't really give an agency, but said that the woman, which ends up being our victim, was being investigated for money laundering, and said she would be arrested, but if she bought some gift cards, then they would keep her out of jail, essentially. So she went and bought a couple of different gift cards at different stores. The value was $1,850. She gave the numbers to the scammer, and then a short time later realized that it was probably a scam, and all the gift cards the balances were zero at that point in time. So not a whole lot of information to follow up on that one, but we'll look into that.
What are some tips people can use to kind of notice that they're being scammed like that.
Yeah, so there's so many wide varieties of scams that are out there, but the one thing is gift cards. If somebody's telling you that you need to go get gift cards, that should be a red flag. If they're telling you to go get Bitcoin, if they're telling you to send money, and the big thing is, it doesn't matter if it's, somebody pretending to be an officer or your electric company or gas company or whatever. There's always a sense of urgency that it has to be done right away, and they do that on purpose. But I suppose that'd be another thing that if probably a tip, I guess, is if somebody calls you and tells you that you need to provide them gift cards, Bitcoin, cash in some form, and you have to do it right away, that should be a pretty big red flag as well. So take your time with that stuff, get some information, but do some checking on your own. Even call a family member or a friend and kind of bounce it off of them and just get another perspective on it. And that's going to probably eliminate a lot of the stuff. The scammers don't want you to do that. They're not going to want you to get off the phone. They're not going to want you to talk to anybody else, because they'll realize that if you start talking to somebody else, you'll figure out that it's a scam. So they're going to do everything they can to keep a person on the phone, but those should be some pretty big indicators right there.
But even writing like the number they called and calling that agency, something like that work, or
So the numbers that they're calling from are a lot of time are going to be cloned or spoofed numbers. So if you're going to try to verify that to make sure that they're legitimate, I would get their name and a contact number for them, and then find out what agency or what company that they work for. Then do some checking on your own. Don't necessarily call that number back. Find a different number, and then call that business to find out. So, those are probably the bigger things. If you do that stuff, then you're kind of getting out of their loop. They may provide you a fake name of a quote-unquote supervisor and a different number. That could be another scammer. So don't use any of the information you get from them. Do some searching on your own, and then use those other sources to verify if it's legitimate or not.
and then obviously an agency will never contact you by phone saying you have an out warrant or whatever. First off, that's
Yeah, we don't, police in the sheriff's office, I know that this comes up from time to time, that people claim to be with the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office, but they don't accept any type of gift card for payment. And if you're being investigated for money laundering, like in this case, buying some gift cards is not going to make an investigation go away. If you know that you're not doing anything illegal, you don't have to worry about anything. But even then, there's proper ways of doing things. And so certainly there may be times when people have a warrant out for their arrest, but a lot of the times that's taken care of by a phone call, and go to the jail, go to the sheriff's office, take care of that stuff. We're not taking payments for a warrant by using an iTunes gift card. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Power companies, if you haven't paid your bill, they're not going to shut your power off unless you give them an iTunes card. I mean, they don't take credit card or gift cards as a form of payment. So those are all red flags as well.
that was $18.50 sheet of cost.
Yeah, 1,850.
And when did you say that happened?
That was, let me see, the report was made yesterday evening. It is, I'm guessing it was yesterday. It doesn't have a specific time when she had the phone call. We were called about 7 p.m. though. So sometime yesterday, I think, is when it happened.
Then after she gave those gift cards, then she kind of realized it was a scam.
Right. She ended up talking to a family member, and then they kind of put everything together.
Was this an older person?
Let's see, the victim is 61. Nothing else big out of the fraud, some ID thefts, some wallets that were taken. Larcenies, a couple of shopliftings, really just a whole lot of random stuff, but nothing high dollar. Narcotics, no big quantities on those. The robbery, I don't have any reports on that. The sex offenses are all reports. And then the vandalisms, we had some graffiti and then windows broken to both houses and cars. And that's all I have, unless you guys have anything else. Okay, thanks.